just realized I did not connect to my microphone properly. Okay, I think that should be good now. Let me see. Hello, I am just in the mood to be live. Let's see, I have so much to share. First of all, I have at least 3 videos in the vlog queue that I have not uploaded yet for a few reasons. One of the videos is me asking for advice on something that you'll understand when you see it. I recorded it a few days ago and then realized that I didn't want to post it until I worked on a few things that were related to the advice. So I'm not quite sure what to do with some of these videos. I haven't necessarily been putting up the vlogs at the end of every day, but I'm really getting into making vlogs right now again, which is such an amazing feeling. And that's something that I should talk about. So I'll be a little all over the place today, but I just don't want to forget any of my points. So I'll just say that, actually I realize I'm on the wrong internet connection. I hope everything works okay today, but that's fine. What was I going to say? Okay. I think it's so important, and I'm saying this for myself and I'm saying this for you, is that we fluctuate so much as human beings. And it sounds obvious to say that, at least it does to me, but I think it's just not always obvious in the moment. I had been in a funk for almost a week, and each day I was like recording these vlogs to share some of my emotions, and I would turn on the camera to talk about them and just realize that the funk was still there. One thing that I did realize is that the funkiness that I was feeling emotionally was going down day by day. So that's one thing that's so important to be aware of. And this is a great reason to meditate, to journal, to just be in touch with your emotions as much as possible, because it allows you to see how things shift. I think when things don't feel good to us, a lot of the times we go to this place, or I know I do, and I know some of you can relate to this, that we'll go to this place of feeling like it's never going to end. And I just want to let you know that it will end. And today is a perfect example. I do not feel that funkiness that I was earlier this week. And time also went by so fast for me this week. I think this time of year goes by incredibly fast. Like, I don't know about you, but I've been going to a ton of events, holiday parties, just like, it feels like so much is going on. And I really would prefer to just stay home most of the days, but I'm embracing all of this socialization, and it's actually making time go by, which is really wonderful when you're in a funky mood like I was. And what else around that? I also drank some coffee. So for context, if I seem like talking really fast and all over the place, it's probably to do with the rush of caffeine I have surging through my body right now. And that also helps me feel like I'm in a good mood. So I actually understand why people get so hooked on coffee. I am relatively a new coffee drinker, and I feel like first and foremost, I drink coffee for the taste, but whenever I feel this elated feeling after drinking coffee, I'm like, oh yeah, that's another reason to drink. It gives you energy and it makes me feel good. And I think that that's why people just feel like they can't function without coffee. What else? Okay, let me try to focus in here. So I wanted to say that my point was that things just shift a lot, right? So you might be in a bad mood, and that's just temporary. It's just so temporary. And maybe that temporary will last hours or days or weeks or however long, but it is temporary. And each of us temporary is very relative to what we're going through and to our individual lives. And sorry, I always get paranoid that I'm going to scratch my new watch. I just hit it on some glass. So this video is proof that it's temporary. And I also am just so excited to share, speaking of just things changing all the time, that I started vlogging for fun. I just felt like it a few days, like maybe a week or so ago. And I've been vlogging, I've been recording footage for months now with my new camera, which is just so wonderful. And I didn't expect to love vlogging. I didn't expect to stick with it. I had zero plan for it. And I just did it. and I've been doing it every day. And because it's become a habit, I look forward to it. It's becoming more automatic. And that's such an important thing too. Again, it seems so obvious. I think we are told so many times of our lives just to make things happen and just to do them, just try them. And I know I face a lot of resistance around this. I'm actually currently facing resistance around this when it comes to my yoga practice. I have done yoga once in the past month because I was out of town. I left town at the beginning of November and came back just over a week ago, and I've done yoga once in that time. So to me, that's rough because I'm paying a decent amount of money to go to my yoga studio, but I also know how much better I feel after doing yoga. And yet getting back into the habit of doing yoga is really challenging for me. One thing that I've been doing to just push myself back into it is scheduling it in advance. I scheduled to go to a yoga class today at 12 and it's 12:40. I didn't go. I didn't feel like it. And I felt very conflicted today when I canceled the class because I just thought like, oh, another day that I'm not going to do yoga, right? But I have to know that one day I will start doing yoga again more regularly. And after I go to a few classes, I'll get back in the habit of it. That's just the way that I tend to work very well. So I have resistance now, but that resistance is temporary, just like anything else is temporary. And at some point I just need to like get myself into it, even if I don't really want to do it, even if I don't feel like I'm going to like it. It's more just getting myself into that rhythm and the practice that I highly recommend. So that's been the case with vlogging. That's also been the case with meditation for me. I've been meditating almost every morning, and that's something that I felt so much resistance around for years. So long it's taking me to get into a meditation practice. And my goal for 2019 is, the big goal would be to meditate every single day for at least an hour. I have somebody that I really look up to is Kyle Cease, and I've had the fortune of getting to know him on a personal level because he's mutual friends with my good friend Jason Robel. And I just think Kyle Cease is incredible. If you haven't heard of him before, look him up. He is a comedian and he's like a transformational life coach, and he's just like, to me, really speaks deeply to me. And one of the most helpful things that he said to me, and really like anyone has said to me, is that it is super helpful if you meditate for 2 hours a day. And this sounds absolutely absurd to me. Not anymore. It did at the time. And I think it would probably seem absurd to anyone who doesn't have a regular meditation practice. It seems like I've never heard anyone talk about meditating that long unless like they're a monk or a Buddhist or like at a retreat or something like that. But in terms of any friends of mine, I don't hear people talking about that. But when Kyle talks about the benefits of meditating for 2 hours or more a day, every single day, he's committed to this. He said it has absolutely transformed his life. And that's just like a quick explanation. But for me, it's resonated with me. He said it multiple times to me personally. He said it during talks. I've listened to him talk about this. I've seen him talk about this in videos. And I really want to do it myself. So my goal for 2019, as intense as this sounds, is to A, meditate every day, and B, aim for 2 hours of meditation every day at once, like sitting down at the very beginning of my day and meditating for 2 hours before I do anything else. And the reason behind that is I want to see if it transforms me. I want to see how I feel. Today I meditated very lightly for maybe an hour. It's hard to say because I actually, as I explain in this vlog that I'm working on for the main channel, it got interrupted a few times. So I had to let Evie outside. I used the bathroom at one point. There's just like a number of things. And so it's just a warm up to the big meditation practice. That's what I'm working on right now. So yeah, that's that. And what else did I want to share with you? I mentioned that I have a few different videos that I've recorded and put together in the editing program. and realized one of them, as I mentioned earlier, I'm saving until I finish something, and I really should just, it's not that hard. Maybe I'll finish it today so I can put up that video. And then one of them is the video I recorded yesterday, and that video, I'm also trying to decide if I should combine with a video previous to it. I don't know. I feel like I'm really overthinking this, to be honest, and that's something I'm trying to overcome. That's something that keeps coming up for me when I meditate or when I'm just reflecting, is that I have overthought my presence on YouTube and social media, and really just so much of what I've done has been overthought. And I say overthought, meaning I don't think the amount of mental energy I'm giving to things before I do them is helping them. I want to proceed more from a place of just intuition and trust and being present. And I really want to encourage each of you to do that as well. So I think, first of all, it's like leading by example. But second of all, especially now that I've crossed that 10-year mark with my work, which is just insane. I mean, I know that I've done that, but when I really think about the fact that I've been doing this for 10 years, it's mind-blowing to me. I think my first eco-vegan gal YouTube video was at the end of 2008. I could probably look this up because I keep forgetting. I have a group of videos in my head that I remember doing very early on. For a while, I thought my first video was this one I did about my pet turkey. And then I thought it was this video I did reviewing a restaurant, Madeleine Bistro. That was my first restaurant review, I know for sure. But I think my first official video on Eco Vegan Gal was actually I did an event summary. Let's go see. I'm going to look this up live right now, and that way I can clarify. That has nothing to do with what I'm about to say to you. It's more that I don't want to forget, and I'm just going to finally figure this out. But anyways, it's been I know it's been 10 years since I started Eco Vegan Gal, because that was in October 2008. That started with blogging. And in terms of the videos, though, YouTube is not functioning properly. I'm just curious when I started YouTube. Let's find out here. I did have a bigger point there. And as I mentioned, if you're just joining this video live, I'm a little all over the place because I'm hyped up on caffeine at the moment. So the big point I wanted to make as I'm looking this up is that I've been doing this for 10 years. I've made over 1,000 videos on YouTube. I have done so much in the past 10 years. And there's no, any strategy I've tried has not necessarily helped me. When you're doing something as a career, a lot of the times we think, if I want to get to this goal, I need to follow these steps. And I would say most of the most exciting things in my career have just come to me. I haven't had to try for them. Now, they have come to me initially, and then effort has been required in order to make them happen. So a great example, one of the first thing that comes to mind is in 2013, which is about midway through the 10 years that I've done. I guess actually that was the midway point. So 5 years after I started and 5 years before I hit my 10-year mark, I was invited to apply to be part of the Ford Fiesta movement, which was this program for YouTubers. And I was so excited about this. This came out of nowhere. I don't know how they found me. I don't know why they invited me to do this, but I just received it, right? So that opportunity, which later became a place of success, came to me without strategy or effort. Now, that's not to discredit the 5 years of work that I had done leading up to that point. They probably found me because of all the videos I made, right? But I don't know if any of the strategies I applied in those 5 years leading up to that opportunity would have shifted whether or not I got that opportunity, if that makes sense, right? I don't know if the styles of my videos and the thumbnails I use and the titles and all that other stuff that I did strategically would have shifted whether or not that opportunity would have come to me. Does that make sense? Now, I think strategy has helped me grow as a person and connect with you in different ways and test things out and all of that. It's a little hard to describe why I'm bringing this up. It's that I guess like my ultimate point is, would it have made a difference had I just sat down in front of a webcam like this for 5 years, every week or every day or whatever the frequency was, and just made unedited, however long videos like I'm doing right now? Would that have changed the amount of subscribers I had, the amount of comments and views and all these other things? Or are all those things a matter of like me editing and all that stuff? I have no idea. I don't know. That's just the thing that's really weird about being a content creator, is a large part of why people choose who they're going to watch on YouTube, for instance, is more about their personality and their information. But in terms of strategic delivery, again, how you make your videos, how long they are, the titles, the thumbnails, these are all the things that we think about as YouTube creators. I don't know if that really ultimately matters, right? I can go on and on. I'm not trying to make this too long of a discussion, but but my point is that big opportunity that came to me in 2013, I didn't actually seek it out. They found me for whatever reason. And I don't know. I asked them actually, because I was amongst some of the top YouTubers at that time. I mean, now that I look back on some of the people that were participating in that Fiesta movement, some of them have grown into be massive names. Like Grace is one great example. Is it Grace Helbig? Is that how you pronounce her last name? She was like top of her game for a long time and still is very well known on YouTube. She was part of that, and I spent time with her, And who else was in there? Lisa, who goes by Lizbug on YouTube. She's done very well. She used to date Shane Dawson, who's like one of the top YouTubers. Lisa was in that same program with me, right? So I was selected amongst there was 100 of us. I was one of 100, so there was 99 really big names in there. Another one is Brittany. What's her full name? I'm blanking on it right now. Brittany Louise Taylor, I think, is her full name. And she is doing very well. She just released a book. She's been talking about surviving abuse in a relationship. Like, her channel right now in this moment is like going through some major shifts. And she was vegan at the time. I don't know if she still is, but she was like somebody that I would like chat with and text and all that stuff. These were all these people that I was in this group of in 2013. And I just don't know how I even was approached by it. And then I had to apply and get accepted into this program. And just who knows why I got accepted, right? Like, there's just so many factors. And my big point is that we overthink things sometimes because we are so attached to our goals. When we never know what's going to lead us directly to reaching those goals. We never know. It's like that famous poem, like, I took the road less traveled by and that made all the difference. Like, if you're or is it the path less traveled by? If you're at a crossroads and there's two paths you can take, you have no idea what the outcome is going to be at the end of each path, because you just have to make a decision and go down a path and trust that that's the right path for you in that moment. And whatever outcome you're going to get there is the one that you're meant to receive. And I am a big believer in that, and yet I spend a lot of mental energy worrying that I'm going to make the wrong decision about things. And more in my life, I'm just sick of that worry, and I'm sick of just like obsessing over trying to do things right. I just want to lead from my heart and trust it and not worry about how many views I get on YouTube and all of that. What matters to me is the 8 people watching live right now. Like, the fact that you're sitting there watching me live as I'm sharing all this is so amazing. It doesn't matter how many people are watching, right? In the grand scheme of things, what's important is this present moment. And also what's important is the times that you email me or message me or write a comment or tell me years down the line that maybe this video right here made an impact on you, right? That's what really matters. And I've just spent 10 years worrying about like superficial things, and it feels very freeing to work through letting that go and just trusting and being me and focusing on making a difference in people's lives versus like all the superficial stuff that comes along with having a career on the internet. There's a little rant for you. I'm going to look right now on my Eco Vegan Gal channel because I want to know which of my videos, what was the very first video that I posted on here? No, they actually make this incredibly hard because they don't have a way to sort by oldest video, I don't think. So hold on, this might take a second. I'm so curious, like what was the day that I posted my very first YouTube video? And it's tough because I have, I think, close to 800 videos on that channel alone, not counting this channel. So I've made a lot of content in the past 10 years. And it's just mind-boggling when you've done something for so long. And it's really also incredibly special to be able to look back and say, I've been doing this for 10 years. And I got really inspired the other day when I was listening to a podcast with Tony Robbins. I didn't realize this, he's been doing his work for 40 years. 40! And I want to be doing my work for a really long time. I was super inspired by another business mentor of mine who's been doing his work for 20 years. And I'm like, wow, I have spent years and years looking forward to this 10-year anniversary for myself. I remember back in, I think it was 2010, 2 years into my career with Eco Vegan Gal, I was like, wow, when I make it 10 years, like that's going to be so amazing. And I'm going to I don't know what exactly I thought was going to happen at the 10-year mark, but I just thought like making it 10 years in a career or doing anything for 10 years was like a huge milestone, which it is. And I thought that like that would mean that I had made it successfully. And funny enough, now that I'm 10 years in, I guess I'm able to like look back and be like, wow, I want to be doing this for at least another 10 years. And I would love to be like Tony Robbins and say, I've been doing this for 40 years. Okay, I just made it to the end of my video. I had to click a bunch of buttons to get to it. My very first video was actually almost 10 years ago. It was December 15th, 2008. I feel like I want to mark that down and do a special video on that channel about like the official 10-year anniversary. That makes me so excited to talk about. I'm typing this in my calendar right now. YouTube 10 years. Wow. So it's actually really cool because I have all these different milestones. I had the milestone of starting Eco Vegan Gal, which I think was October 22nd, 2008. I'm just throwing that date out there. I don't remember off the top of my head. It was sometime at the end of October. And so I've crossed that. But now, in exactly a week from today, I'm going to hit the 10-year anniversary of my first video on the Eco Vegan Gal channel where it started it all. Wow. And there was actually a gap of 4 months. I posted a video going... Oh, this is actually really weird. I don't know where that went, but it's only like a 50-second video. I think I was so unsure of myself back then that I know it's still public. Okay. It's still up there. I remember I called it like a draft because back then, I think this might just cut off, but I'm going to try to switch over to the better internet connection. If it doesn't and this video abruptly ends, I'm so sorry. I didn't realize that I was on the wrong internet connection. Let me see if I can do this without